up guys, how's it going? Today we'll be doing a review of the 2019 Jaguar F-Type. We'll do an outside walk around, an inside tour, and take it on a drive.
Alright, so before we get into the regular part of this review, I want to talk about some quirks, interesting features, and stuff I noticed while driving this car. So starting off with the windshield wiper fluid, I looked around the car and once I opened the trunk I noticed it was there, which is a weird place to put it because usually it's in the front hood in front of where the windshield wipers are. So I don't know what the Jaguar engineers were thinking, but yeah, they put it there, and I guess if you want to fill up your windshield wiper fluid, you open the trunk. Going on to the inside, if you look at the start button when you get in the car, right before you press it, which I mean, you're not really going to look at it until you press it, but you'll notice that the light is going to, in the back of the start button, that like backlight for it, actually pulsates. And apparently, it does so at the same rate as a Jaguar heartbeat. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool, National Geographic and stuff. But honestly, it's kind of gimmicky. You'll never notice it. And I mean, I had to actually know about it before I actually looked for it in the car. So I guess if you don't know and own a Jaguar, now you know because of this video. So when you look around the car and everywhere else, you'll notice there's a bunch of J's. I mean, I think they're really obsessed with the J aspect of the Jaguar brand. I really think it should be the F because this is an F-Type. But yeah, there's a J here, another one there, and a third one there if you look at it the right way. Yeah. So, I mean, cool. J's and features and aesthetics, right? The whole interior, though, otherwise makes you feel like you're in a fighter jet. Man, that's another J. All right, so tips on driving this car when you go out to drive it if you own it is just be careful going in and out of driveways. You'll probably scratch the front because of how low and long that front overhang is. The other thing just to keep a lookout for is the doors and how you open it. Honestly, I struggled with it a little bit because if you unlock it, the door pops out. But if you just press the button, it'll end up like pushing back at you, and it doesn't seem like it likes that. But yeah, that's how you get in the car. So with that, let's get into the fun part of the review. And yeah, if you guys haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe. And yeah, let's get going.
All right guys, we're getting in the car just to get a feel for how this thing drives. I'll put in some clips right here of how it sounds. I'm just gonna put that in every now and then because it sounds amazing. That's like the highlight of this car. So we're going into dynamic mode, and it tells you dynamic mode confirmed. So that's like the only way you can really drive this thing is in dynamic mode. And it, here, well, 1 second. Okay, so those pops will happen pretty much anytime you take it above 3,000 RPM and let off, and it sounds amazing, and I think it'll just never get old. That's something you just never get used to. You'll always have fun with. So let me talk about powertrain. This thing's powered by a 3-liter V6 supercharged, pushing out 340 horsepower, as like the badge suggests. That's a really nice way to designate the name of the car. I mean, you'll never be able to need to, like, you know, fact check anyone on how much horsepower this engine puts out from the factory, and honestly, like, I won't question this putting out 340 horsepower. I think it makes sense given just how much I've been able to drive it, and the power delivery is really good. Since it's supercharged, you get that torque immediately. I think it has around 302 pound-feet of torque. I'll put a number right here because I'm forgetting the number off the top of my head. Looking at the exhaust, which I think is the highlight of this car. Unfortunately, it does not have the active exhaust system, but it's dual tip exhaust, kind of reminiscent of the E-Type, which is what this is the predecessor of. And I mean, it looks good, sounds great. It's got huge, you know, wide exhaust tips. But even though this doesn't have the active exhaust, so like that valve exhaust system, it makes a pretty big difference in sound when you go from regular mode to dynamic. So in city driving, not being on it, it's really quiet, it's nice, it's civilized. But as we'll see, like right here, I'll bounce it a little bit. That's second gear. There you go. open up if you want it to. It has no trouble with that. All right, let's get over here. Oh my god. Yeah, this thing picks up quick. There's no issue. I'm gonna put the 0 to 6 right here. I don't know the time on the 0 to 6. Oh, I think actually, yes, it's 5.1 seconds. That's pretty much the performance. You know, it handles great. You got the transmission. I think, let me highlight the transmission real quick. It's got the ZF 8-speed transmission, which I reviewed in a couple different applications. The M235i, also the Land Rover Discovery. This is more of a, you know, more performance, I think, oriented than the M235i. It bangs the shifts, like it actually like jolts you in your seat in dynamic mode. And yeah, I think that's just to get a way quicker shift time. So I liked it. Like, yeah, you want smooth shifts, you'll get that in regular mode, but I'll just downshift a little bit here. And oh my god, I really hope the audio is good, honestly, because this is an open top. It sounds great. We don't get a lot of wind noise inside with the windows up, of course, but man, the perks of having the top down is the exhaust note. When I had it up, it sounded really muffled, but with the top down, I think you really get to listen to the whole experience. So moving on to the inside, the steering wheel feels amazing. There is an option for a flat bottom. This one doesn't have that, and I think it's perfectly fine as is. You do have your paddle shifters, which are mounted on the steering wheel, not the steering column. That's, you know, if that's your preference of it being on the column, you won't be getting that here. They're plastic shift paddles. They don't have, like, I guess the throw of the shift paddle isn't that, like, I guess, satisfying, because you feel like you're pressing buttons. But I mean, they're paddle shifters. They function. They shift really fine. It's really responsive. So the cool thing is, when you're in dynamic mode, your whole gauge cluster actually turns red, and it says that whole, like, dynamic mode confirmed. So it literally makes you feel like you're in a sports car. The whole interior vibe is very driver centric. So that's it's nice. It makes you feel special, which I think that's what this car is intended for. We're gonna rev it here a little bit. Be careful with this car, guys, because you can really get in some trouble here. Let me talk about how the spoiler works. So right now it's up. If you hold it until the orange light on the button goes away, it's fully down. Oh, actually, hold up. It's not letting me put it down. I know why. I think that's because we're in dynamic, or we're going at a certain speed. Let's see. Okay, now I can put it down. I went off dynamic mode. I was going around like 40 miles an hour. It's fully down. You have to hold it for it to go all the way down. And I think the reason for that is if you want to adjust the angle. I don't think you're going to be doing any type of aerodynamic analysis here for that. It's just, I guess, preference. But if you press it once it's down, it comes all the way up. There's no concern there. All right, we'll do this last. We'll do a rip actually in normal mode just to see how it responds. Okay, so it opens up. If I just floored it there, not in dynamic mode, and it revved and it, you know, it shifted, but it wasn't like a visceral shift. We'll feel it right now in dynamic mode, and you guys will probably get a sense of how different it is with the shifts in dynamic mode. So we'll get a feel for that right now. Dynamic mode on, you see a little checker flag in the center display in your gauge cluster. So, all right, you guys ready? Yeah, so it really pushes you in your seat during those shifts. I think that's like the biggest difference. And obviously the exhaust sounds a lot better. So yeah, that's the biggest difference we're getting out of it. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. Like if you love the sound of exhausts, and subscribe if you want to see more. I got some exciting cars and videos planned in the future. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.